everyone! Today I'm going to be making a traditional Maltese sweet for the Easter holiday. I'm going to be making a honey ring, which I will first start off by making the dough, and then I'll go on to making the filling, and then I'll put them together and complete this recipe. So we're going to start off with the dough. I have some flour, I have some semolina, I have some melted butter, an egg yolk, I have some Splenda sugar, and then I also have a bit of water. We're going to first mix these ingredients up, and then we're going to gradually add the water so that we can get the texture we are looking for. So I'm going to continue mixing the ingredients, and as you've seen, I've been adding the water gradually until we can get a nice molded dough. So we're just going to continue adding our water until we can get that final texture. Once I have that complete, I'm going to set this aside, and then we're going to work on the filling for this recipe. So now I'm finished making my dough. It has a nice texture, and I am now ready to start making my filling. So what I've done is I started to boil some water. Once it comes to a boil, I'm going to start adding in my ingredients to make the filling for my honey rings. So there we go. It's starting to boil, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some cocoa, some allspice, I have some lemon and orange peel, I'm going to be adding some cloves, I have some Splenda sugar, and I have some fancy molasses. You can also use treacle. Unfortunately, I couldn't find it at my local grocery store, so I'm going to be using a fancy molasses instead, which will do the job. We're going to bring this to a boil, and then once it has come to a boil, I'm going to be adding in some semolina to thicken it. Now that my honey ring filling has come to a boil, I'm going to start adding my semolina so that we can thicken the sauce and it can become more of a filling. So I'm going to slowly add my semolina, and I'm going to consistently stir it as I add it in, and eventually it's going to become thicker. Once I get the texture that I'm looking for, I'm going to turn my heat down, and then I'm going to cool the filling. So we're going to continue adding in the semolina. And once I have that complete, I will show you what this looks like. Now that I got my honey ring filling to the texture I was looking for, by gradually adding in my semolina, I'm happy with the way it turned out. So I'm going to now let it cool down, and once that's complete, I'm going to show you the next step in this recipe. Now that my honey ring filling is complete, it is cooled down, it has a nice texture to it. I prepared my dough by rolling it out into a large piece, and then I cut about a handful size of the dough. Then I roll the individual pieces out to flatten them out into a long strip with a bit of width. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fill in the dough center. So we're just going to place our filling in the center of our dough. I'm going to do it to all of the pieces so that we have used all of the filling. And once I finish doing that, what I'll do is I'll just roll my dough around the filling. So we're just going to roll it around like so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring both ends together. And I have some water here, so I can just wet my fingers, and I'm just going to bring the dough together so that we can merge them together. So it's kind of now shaped like a donut. So we're just going to use a bit more water. We're just going to pinch the dough on all sides to make sure it is together. And then what I'm going to do is I have a sharp knife, and I'm just going to cut a little slices in the dough so that when it bakes, it's going to open up a little bit for the filling to come out. So we're just going to make sure that we have a nice slit in a couple spots. And there we go. I'm going to put this on my cooking tray, and then I'm going to continue on with the rest of my dough with the filling. Once I've completed that, I'm going to put it in the oven. I have preheated my oven at 375. And then once they're complete, I'm going to show you what they look like. My Maltese traditional honey rings are now complete. They've been baking in the oven for about 30-45 minutes. I didn't want to overcook them because I didn't want the dough to turn really hard. So they have a nice golden cook on them, and the inside is nice, moist, and it's fully baked. If you like this recipe and you want to see more like this, please subscribe to our channel. Hit that share, like, and that bell notification, and I will be putting the ingredients that went into this recipe in the description.